Hey, Facebook Live, CamiBaker.com here at the Happiness Jungle. I am the queen of the Happiness Jungle today, and we are just getting set up to start recording the Happiness Jungle TV show. So stay tuned, click the little share button, and share this with all your friends and people who want to be inspired by our guest today, Christian Flinn. Good day, everyone. This is CamiBaker.com, and we are with the Happiness Jungle. I am the queen of the Happiness Jungle today, and I have a king with me, Mr. Christian Flinn. And this just goes to show that social media can be social. You can actually make friends and find resources and relationships and revenue and all that fun stuff, because I found Christian on Facebook. He somehow ended up liking one of my videos, and I went on and liked some of his videos. I saw he has a lot of followers and a nice tribe of people that like to listen to his inspiration. And so I thought, why not intermingle our tribes and see what you guys think about Christian and what I like about his people and all that fun stuff. So Christian, come on with us and tell us a little bit about yourself, and tell us something about you that isn't about what you do or where you're from. What's something that people don't normally know about you?
Well, awesome stuff, Cami. And hey, let me just give it back to you. I appreciate the kind words that you're saying about me. But yeah, I was really attracted to you and your brand and the whole thing you're putting together. You're putting out so much value that it's hard not to, just bring in great positive people like yourself. And that's what you're doing. So hats off to what you're doing. And I just want to say thank you for giving me the opportunity to talk to everybody here real quick. I guess, that's a fun question, right? Something that maybe people do not know about me. Let's see. Well, I'm a father of three. I've got a 15-year-old, a 13-year-old, and an 8-year-old. I've done just about everything. I'm like a serial entrepreneur, Cami, and I think a lot of people know me for network marketing, but I owned a mortgage company. I've owned an insurance company. I've owned a construction company. I've been a landlord. I've pretty much done just about anything business related. I've traded Forex. I've bought a lot of cryptocurrency. I've mined Bitcoin. I mean, you name it. I've definitely I've had a hand in it. So that, I think that's probably more than people want to know. But I've done a lot of stuff, Cami, that's for sure.
There's something to be said that us entrepreneurs have a lot of that stuff, in common. That's why we feel like we're cut from the same cloth, and we feel like we're two peas in a pod before we've even gotten on this Zoom to chat about it. So you've mentioned a lot of different businesses, Christian. Have you always been a business owner from when you were a wee lad on up?
From a wee lad, yeah. I like to tell people I've been an entrepreneur since I was born. It's been something like, just like you, Cami, it's like in us. Like, you could put us in a cubicle, but we're in that cubicle and we're looking for a way out. Like we're standing up, looking over the walls. So yeah, I went to college. I played college football, and as soon as I was done playing football, they said, it's time to, get out and join the real world and get a job. And so I did that. I got a job working in construction. So I was a big guy, right? And you want to be kind of like I don't want to be in that office, and I don't want to wear a suit. And so I thought, I'm going to do something construction related. What can I use my degree now? Like when you get a degree, you spend all that money. You're like, let's go use it on something. And so I got a job, being a construction supervisor. And about as soon as I got that job, I was looking over that. I was looking out of the cubicle. I was like, oh my gosh, like how do I get out of this mess? Like, and so that was actually, a pretty far from home job. And Columbus, Ohio is where I'm from, Cami. I don't know if you know that. And so I was like, I want to go back home where my friends are at. And so I was a bodybuilder at the time, and I came back home and I started working out, and people would ask, they'd say, what do you do? And I was like, oh, this is my time. This is my chance. I was like, I own a construction company. They said, well, what's the name of your company? I said, Buckeye Construction, right? The Ohio State Buckeyes. Cami, I never even considered that name was probably taken. And they're like, oh, we know that company, Buckeye Construction. And I went out and made business cards, and the real Buckeye Construction said, you can't do that. And that was like my first entry into entrepreneurism. Like you can't just make up a name and call yourself that and roll with it. But yeah, from that moment forward, so from 22 years old, I've been entrepreneurial and own my own business and haven't had to go get a job.
What I like about that is that you just stepped in and claimed it. You said, yeah, damn right, I'm a business owner and I own this construction company, and you basically said it and created it into existence. And I've done that myself, too. As a matter of fact, when I wrote my book a couple of years ago, I was using a word, net play. So instead of network, let's net play. And it was fun, and it was a fun word, and it helped to take the work out of networking and all that. But when I went to trademark the word, I found out that it was already trademarked by someone else. And so my book was ready to go to print and literally had to pull it off the press. And I thought, what word is ever going to replace this? I'll never come up with another word. But then a friend of mine had a download in the middle of the night. She said, I've got a gift for you. Would you like it? And I said, yeah. She said, NetWeb. And at first when she said it, I didn't like it. It didn't resonate. I didn't understand it. But the more I thought about it, net webbing is very sophisticated, and it's very strategic. And so it's 1,000 times better than net play. So, but for us as entrepreneurs, we just claim it, we own it, we step into it. As a matter of fact, I talk about that we need to be what we want to be so that we'll do what that person would do, so that we will have what they will have. So many people sit around waiting to have something, and then they'll do something, and then they'll be happy, or then they'll be fit, or then they'll be rich, or whatever. But people like us, we step into being it first. Tell me some other instances where you've done that.
So, I mean, I guess I'll be honest with you, Cami. Like, you're talking about that, and I'm thinking, and I'm realizing that that's something that I've always kind of done without realizing it. Like, I remember, in college, like, people didn't know who I was, and it was like, well, I'm the captain of the football team, like, before I was the actual captain of the football team, and they're like, you can't be, like, you just got here, and I'm like, well, I'm gonna be the captain of the football team, It's like, it was kind of like a ha thing to everybody around me, to my friends that were all freshmen, like, we're all getting beat up and being hazed, and you're saying you're the captain of the football team, but I believed that I was definitely going to be. I've always just kind of maybe been a little crazy. Like maybe I'm not normal. I don't know. But I think that I'm able to manifest things in my mind, or see what it is that I want, and I just become that. Like I think that I did some network marketing for a while, and I remember when I got into the network marketing world, I sat there and I watched the professionals give the presentation. And all I could do was look over that cubicle again. I was like, okay, how fast can I get up there and I do the presentation? Like I'm the guy that does. I have my own meetings, and it was just like, I was like, I'm always just like putting myself in that next position. But in order to be the leader, you have to do what the leader does, right? You find somebody that has what you want, and you duplicate what they do. And so my entire life, I've been finding people that I admire, that have mentored me. And I literally, like, it's almost crazy. I'll drive the same car they drive. I'll wear the same suits they wear. If they have cufflinks, I'll have cufflinks. If they have a Breitling watch, I have a Breitling watch. And it's just like, that's who I want to be. I'm that person. I believe it in my mind before I actually become it. So I've done it in probably just everything.
I've heard that one definition of NLP is simply mirroring success. When you can mirror what someone else does that is successful, that's neuro-linguistic programming. So you mentioned to me earlier that you have 3 keys, or 3 steps, or 3 different things that you can impart on us of wisdom to help people to become more entrepreneurialistic, or more happy, as we are the happiness jungle, happy and free with their life. Can you share those with us?
So I really think that any area of your life, like, we all go through life, and a lot of us want to be more fit, or a lot of us just really feel that we have a spiritual side to us, but we're not connecting with it, or maybe we just don't have the mindset of the leader, but we want to be that leader. And any area of your life can be fixed. You can develop these, and it can happen overnight by just following a 3-key system. And really, so I'm going to just kind of lay it out for you really quick, and then maybe we can go back and just kind of break it down. But the first thing is focus. You have to know what you want. Let's take be in shape, right? A lot of people say, I want to be in shape. Well, what level of shape do you want to be in? Like, let's set some realistic goals around what that looks like. What is it you want? And let's be specific about exactly what it is. Write it down, be very clear, so we know where we're going. That's step number 1. And step number 2 is, life doesn't give you what you want. it gives you what you believe. Okay. And so again, kind of like we were talking about a minute ago, like I could just manifest these things in my brain. Like I believed I was the leader. I believed I was the captain of the football team. I believed I had my own network marketing group, my own meeting. Like, so I think that you have to really believe it. A lot of people will say, I want to be fit. I want to be healthy. I want, right? But they don't believe it. Mm-hmm. And so you have, I mean, I've got a couple of steps that can help your viewers in getting that belief, but it's really number 2 is having that belief. And step number three is take action, right? Take action. Like when I walked into the gym and people would say, what do? I said, I own my own construction company. I didn't own my own construction company, but because I told people that I did, and because, a lot of times, I used to do bodybuilding. Because I told people that I was going to do a bodybuilding show, like I have all these eyeballs looking at me, right? And so they're expecting, some people want you to fail. Some people, are rooting you on. Most people, a lot of people don't want you to do better than what they're doing. But everybody, and Facebook's taught us this, right? Everybody's watching. So go live with what you say you're going to do and take action. And that's step number 3, because when you put yourself in motion, when you start moving towards that goal, it's crazy what happened. But a lot of people, they want to try to get everything right. Before they say they have their own construction company, they want to go back and they want to make sure their business cards look perfect, that their stationery is right. Oh, I need a printer with the best ink and all the paper. And like, I had nothing. I don't even know if I had a cell phone. And I was like, I'm moving though. But because I put myself in motion, I took action and it happened for me. I did very well with that construction company.
I love your steps, and there's so much we can talk about from here. One of the things that I share with people is that your belief is what dictates what your thoughts are. So whatever you believe is what you'll think about, your thoughts. And the thoughts actually lead to the actions, because whatever you think is what you'll take action on, or lack of action, as it were. And from the action comes the results. And, yes. And then when we have results, we have beliefs about those results, and because of those beliefs, we have thoughts, and so I would love to hear. You said in the second one with the belief that you've got a couple of things to help people get to that, but let's not skip over the first one. Focus. What I heard you say was setting SMART goals. So the SMART, the specific, measurable, attainable, all those. So it's all about setting goals for the first one. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, really, you got to know where you're going. So many people want to get in shape; they have no idea what shape they want to be in, or they want to. It's so broad, it's so general. I'd like to lose weight, and it's like, okay, well, how much weight? And let's be very specific. Or I want to own my own business, or I want to make more money, or whatever it is. You want to be able to journal and track and see where you're going, and really kind of to highlight something you just said. It's all about your focus. Where your focus goes, energy flows. And so if you're focused on, play devil's advocate, you're focusing on problems. You're focusing on something that's not working for you. Then what do you find? You find more problems. You find more reasons why something's not going to work. But if you're focusing on losing weight, or you're journaling and you're tracking and you're seeing that progress, you're feeling better, right? Tony Robbins talks about that. He talks about, progress equals happiness. So we want to instill that from the inside out. And so it all starts with knowing where you're going and really just kind of defining what that roadmap looks like.
I agree.
What do you want?
And for our viewers that are watching, just to give you a roadmap to follow with that, a SMART goal is when you have something specific, which is what Christian's talking about, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely. So in other words, like you were just saying, well, I want to make more money. And because I'll ask people all the time, what are your business goals? And I'm sure you would agree, Christian, that people don't have a hard time attaining goals. They have a hard time setting them. And because they never set them, they don't achieve them. But it's not because goals are hard to achieve. It's because they don't set them. And so when people say to me, well, Cami, I want to make more money, I'll play with them and I'll say, okay, here's $1. That goal's achieved. You just made more money. You just made $1. Is that what you? Well, no, that's not what I mean. Okay, well, let's get specific, and let's make it attainable. Let's make it realistic. Meaning, you may not say, "Well, I'm going to make $1 million in 30 days." with what you have right now, but let's make it realistic, but let's make it where you're growing out of your comfort zone. So we're talking about having a SMART goal for number one. Now, number two, with the belief, what are a couple of tips you could give people to help them with shifting their beliefs or instilling a more positive, attainable belief?
So, I mean, again, with belief, you have to know that it's possible. You have to know that it's real. And the one thing that I have found for me, let's stay on the subject of losing weight. If your focus is losing weight, but you're hanging out with people that are overweight or that don't go to the gym, then where's your belief level? You really don't believe that it's going to be possible for you. You're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with, right? You hang out with 9 drunks, you're the 10th, right? But if you hang out with 9 millionaires, you'll be the 10th, right? So it's all about your belief system and what you believe you can achieve. And so it really, I think that one of the simplest things you can do is if you didn't think of making $1 million a year was possible, find somebody that's doing it. Find that person and find a reason to spend time with them. Find a reason to put yourself in that circle. And if you're wasting, I don't want to say wasting time. There's some good people that you might be investing your time into that aren't conducive to where you want to go or to what your goals are. And in some cases, you kind of have to trim some fat. You kind of I mean, I don't want to say it in a bad way. And sometimes it's difficult because sometimes those people are the people that are closest to you. You may have negative Nancy, as a spouse or as a parent or as a sibling. And you can't just say, look, I'm never talking to you again, but you really have to stand guard at your mind. Like you have to control and just like be very, very, aware of what you're putting in this thing, because we can download some pretty negative stuff. And if all you hear is negative or all you hear is you can't do this or you believe it's not possible, then you may have set the right goals, but you're not able to get through step 2 because you have no belief.
I love this conversation because one of my favorite sayings is change your playgrounds and your playmates. I think that I'm going to write a book called Change Your Playgrounds and Change Your Playmates, because that's exactly what you're talking about. We are in a culmination of the 5 people that we hang out with. And so when people say, well, this is just what I believe, this is what my mom believed, this is what the people in my neighborhood believed, etc. To your point, one of the best ways to change your beliefs is find that goal, that thing that you want to achieve, but somewhere in your mind you think, well, I want to make $1 million a year in this case, or I want to lose 20 pounds in 60 days. Right. But I've never known anybody who's done it, so I don't really believe that it's possible. Guess what? There's people who have. Find those people. It's just like, with the 12-step program. Whatever someone's problem is, there are people that have already achieved the goal that they're looking for, and when you find them and hang out with them, you can have what they have too. So I can see, Christian, why you are a coach for so many people. Let's talk about the third thing about taking action, because what we've been talking about for us as entrepreneurs, you sound a lot like me. I shoot the gun and worry about where the bullet's going to land later. And sometimes that makes a mess, but at least I'm doing something. At least I'm taking action. And sometimes I have to clean it up, but at least I'm moving forward. So I tend to take action even before I'm ready to take action. But some people are stuck in analysis paralysis and just can't get out of their own way. What would you say to folks like that need to take action and just aren't doing it?
There's a really good book, and I'm sure you've read it or maybe you followed Mel Robbins, and she's got a 5-second rule. And that's something that I've actually implemented into my coaching. And basically, if you've not read the book, go get the book and read it, or just YouTube Mel Robbins and see, like, she puts out some fantastic stuff. But she's got a 5-second rule, and that 5-second rule is there to get you in motion. So let's just take one of the simplest things that people struggle with in America, and that's getting out of bed in the morning. Everybody wants to do what? They want to hit that snooze button. Well, what Mel would say is instead of hitting that snooze button, I want you to count backwards from 5 and put your feet on the floor. So 5, 4, 3, 2, put my feet on the floor. I'm in motion. So you're now moving in that direction. I've got a 15-year-old son, and I want to make sure that he's comfortable introducing himself to ladies. And so, we were at a place the other day, and I said, Parker, I'm going to teach you a 5-second rule. I said, this is going to work for you every time. If you see somebody that you want to go and talk to, I give you 5 seconds. I want you to count backwards in your head and then start walking in that direction. The right words will come out. And this happened, network meetings, maybe you have a business and you're at a networking meeting, but you don't feel comfortable talking to other people. Well, it's tough to grow. And so give yourself that 5-second rule. 5, 4, 3. I'm going to walk in this direction. I'm going to hand my business card and I'm going to introduce myself. Hello, I'm Christian Flinn. And then all of a sudden you're now in motion and you're doing, something that's going to get easier and easier and easier. And before you know it, you've perfected it. And now you're using the 5-second rule towards much bigger accomplishments.
Well, motion creates emotion, and people buy on emotion and they justify with logic. So I totally agree about getting in motion. It's funny, as you're saying that, I'm thinking of, I didn't realize I was living the 5-second rule at this point, but I was at a networking event in New York City several years ago. Big, beautiful event. It was at the Ferrari dealership. I mean, the people there were all driving Ferraris, very high echelon people. And there was this table full of women. There were 3 of the most gorgeous women you've ever seen. And at the time, I had a huge team of people, and I was teaching them how to network and how you can talk to anyone, anywhere, anytime. And I noticed this table full of women, and I noticed that of the 100 or so people in the room, none of these men were going over and talking to them. Nobody was talking to them. They were afraid of being rejected. They were afraid, what if I don't know what to say, or what if they, reject me? So I thought to myself, if I don't walk over there, how can I look my clients in the eye and tell them they can talk to anyone, anywhere, anytime? So to your point, I didn't start counting, but I started walking because it was across the room. It was a good 100 feet away. So I just started walking over there, and I'm thinking to myself, I have no idea what I'm going to say when I get over there, but when I get over there, I'm going to have to say something because they're looking at me and they can see that I'm coming. And I got over there and I said, ladies, these are the nicest shoes I have ever seen at one table, because they were dressed to the nines. And that's all I needed to say. It broke the ice. They all started laughing, and we just shot the doo-doo for about 10 minutes, and everybody was happy,
Right.
So
yeah. People love compliments. Compliments are never going to go, you can't go wrong with a compliment. If you give me a compliment, Christian, I like your watch. You're like, oh, thanks. Now I feel good and I like you.
Yeah,
right?
Compliments are everything. So I want to focus on you for just a minute, because you've got some great tips. You've obviously got great energy and have people that are following you. I've watched some of your Facebook Lives as well. Talk to me about what you do with your clients. Like, who is a typical client that comes to you, and what kind of transformation do you have with them?
So I've had a lot of experience and a lot of success in the network marketing world. And so a lot of that came from, for me, was just having bad mentorship, bad leadership. And so I kind of just developed my own thing. And what I found was a whole community of network marketers, people that wanted to start a home-based business, wanted this laptop lifestyle, wanted a way to make money from home, maybe in addition to what they were currently doing. But just not able to get their businesses off the ground. And so what I did was I started a Facebook group, and it was just a couple people, and I just started putting more and more people in there, because a lot of the stuff I do on Facebook Live is usually personal growth related, or self-improvement, or business related. I put a lot of business coaching and stuff out there, but I wanted that one community where people could go to get free coaching and just like help them grow their business, because I remember being that new person that just needed an opportunity from home, and it didn't exist. And if it did, it was even more money than I already paid to start my business. And it's like I didn't have that kind of money. And so I've created that community. Now it's grown. It's a much larger community. I think it's a couple months old. There's like 900 people in there. But from there, I've been able to help a lot of people, create a lot of different challenges. And now I've now started a couple other communities that are actually paid communities, where I'm teaching people more high-end stuff on how to make money through social media, through any other channels, like not just network marketing, but there's a lot of different things that people can do. So it's now kind of stemming and growing to other markets. I'm really excited about it, not because it's a great opportunity for me financially, but Cami, I get so much gratification out of this, like the testimonies and just being able to help people and really feel good at the end of the day about what I'm doing. So I know I know what I'm doing is creating value, and I know that there's a real calling there for me. And so that's what I've been doing for probably about the past 7 months.
I agree. You know, there's so much to be said for living on purpose and just really enjoying what you do. People will ask me, why don't you do real estate anymore? Why don't you do network marketing anymore? Because I was in network marketing for 5 years, and I had a team of 10,000 people around the world, and I personally recruited 131. And when they say, well, why don't you do it anymore? It's like, you know what? It didn't feed my soul. It wasn't where I was comfortable being for the rest of my life. But all of those experiences and all of that, thousands of networking events and hundreds of people that I coached one-on-one and the tens of thousands from stage, etc., gave me this beautiful platform of Mingle to Millions, where I can teach anyone, anywhere, anytime how to network in any situation. And whether it's network marketers or whether it's real estate people or, you know, financial planners or small brick and mortar business owners, it doesn't matter. I teach them about, you know, human interaction. So, you know, I would love to have you as a guest in some of my groups that I'm putting together. I've got one coming up called Quality Connection Community. So it's all about the quality. I'm a big proponent that it's not about the quantity. We could have 50,000 people in a community, but if, like we've talked about, you know, who are you hanging out with? What is the playground that you're in? And who are the playmates? Because if the playmates that you're hanging out with are unemployed and just sitting around complaining about the government and the price of gas, then that's not a quality connection. You don't need 50,000 of those. You need 500 of the good ones, right?
Totally agree. And I love the idea for that book. I mean, that is solid. That's a winner right there. I can't believe you said that out in public. Like, you should hold that one back and just like.
Well, you know what I find? People will hear it and they'll say it's a great idea, but it's the person who takes action. And which brings us all the way back around to our 27 minutes together as of now. We're just coming to an end. And it's all about the person who takes action. So what is your focus? What is your belief? And what actions are you going to take? So when I share the name of the book, I know that I'm the one that will take action on it, if anybody will, because I'm the one that was inspired by it. So I highly recommend that people find Christian, and his information is on the Facebook Live here. You can say the name of your website, etc. Why don't you give a spelling of everything real quick?
Yeah, so it's just my name. It's ChristianFlinn.com, ChristianFlinn. I have an I in my last name. A lot of people put a Y in that. So it's, ChristianFlinn with an I.com. And you can send me a message there.
I'm glad you said that, because in my mind, I was thinking Y. So I'm glad you said I. And, of course, I'll be tagging him on our replay. So CamiBaker.com here with my buddy Christian. We are the Happiness Jungle TV show. We are happy, and we're playing in the jungle. Are you? Good stuff, Christian. Thank you so much. That was a great interview.